Good morning to all my friends and family, and welcome to Jim's 5 a.m. Club. I'm coming to you from the Hunter Valley this morning, and as you can see, we've got this lake on an estate up here at the Hunter Valley, and you can see the mist on top of the water. It's a beautiful morning. It's going to be a glorious day. And this is my fourth vlog for today, and I'm going to take you on a book summary. And the topic for today's book summary is entitled Alone Together. It's a book written by an author known as Turkle, and we'll see what we can learn. So the author kicks off her book with an interesting quote where she says that we fill our days with ongoing connection, denying ourselves time to think and dream. So what the author here, I guess, is trying to tell us, trying to remind us, is that we need some time alone. We need some downtime in order to enable us to think and dream, and to reflect on the beauty of this life that we get to enjoy. The author then goes on to say something which is, I guess, confronting to many people, and something which I guess we all get to taste from time to time. Especially in this modern world where we're surrounded by technology, where we've had most of our wants and needs satisfied by working and having a good income. But we are surrounded, we tend to be surrounded by lots of people and say nothing to each other because we are all on our iPhones, our smartphones. Because what's happened over the past decade or two, and it's happened really quickly for those who are not aware, what's happened is that technology has taken over the world and made our lives both easier and more difficult at the same time. That is a real powerful point. Our lives have been made both easier and difficult at the same time. So that's a powerful observation, which I think many of us can appreciate and relate to. So the author then goes on to talk about three key points. And the first key point to come out of the book here is that we are sacrificing personal relationships for artificial ones. We are sacrificing personal relationships for artificial ones. What does she mean by that? Because it is a real eye-opener. It's a thought-provoker. We're swapping real relationships that are real, and replacing them by artificial relationships. So what we're saying here is that we neglect our personal relationships for electronic ones, which basically means that, and you see it happening all the time, we spend far too much time in the ether, looking at our phones and trying to live a life which, as she alludes to, that could be artificial, because the social media life, the videos, the posts that we're all guilty of making, of doing, are not necessarily a reflection of reality, of our real life, but just a snapshot of our fantasy lives that we want to portray to all and sundry. But the author says that the reason why we're swapping out our real relationships for artificial ones is that, to a certain extent, I've got to be careful that I don't get bitten by a snake walking through here. To a certain extent, the author tells us that we are sensitive and afraid of hurting the people around us, which makes us, and I guess a lot of people can relate to this, we tend to want to spend time walking on eggshells. And because sometimes the real relationships are awkward and difficult, the author says that we walk on eggshells in these real relationships, and that way, and for that reason, we tend to revert to electronic company to comfort us, but that electronic company is not real, and in many ways, it's a fantasy. It's an escape for each and every one of us. So there's an element of truth there, and it's quite interesting to listen to and to contemplate. So the next point that she makes in the book here is that it's convenient for people to always be able to reach us, but it can be stressful to have this constant connection. So being constantly connected through work, socially, is a bit of a challenge that many of us will need to deal with and learn to work with. Because what happens is that this constant connection creates a level of anxiety. Creates a level of anxiety. We feel anxious if we leave our phone at home. Devices have both advantages and disadvantages, according to this author, and the drawbacks that we somehow need to disconnect. Got a couple of ducks fighting over there. How funny is that? Coming for them all around now. A couple of ducks fighting, and all the other ducks are coming to figure out what's happening. Can you hear them squeaking? Okay, here we go. They're all chasing each other away now. So we need to somehow learn to disconnect to find peace, according to the author. Here they are, chasing each other, having some fun. We need to reconnect with people in person to relieve ourselves of the overload and overwhelm that technology causes. So the author encourages us from time to time to do a thing called a media detox, a media fast from time to time, because the author says, and I think there's probably some truth in this, that we can gain from detaching periodically. But the bottom line, and we'll learn this, and we've learned this time and time again, is it's better to have a face-to-face catch-up with friends rather than a hollow online connection. And sometimes it's better to live in the world of slight delay rather than living in a world of just real time. Sometimes, having a break and being with people and just chilling out is better than the tete-a-tete that we have on social media. I guess there's a time and place for everything that we all understand. But being too much involved with social media and online, I guess, can have its challenges, and we've seen it with young people who are caught up with their gaming, being on games all the time. I also notice that even with my grandchildren, my granddaughter will be on her iPad watching some cartoons, even though it's very, very educational and very, very interesting. I do notice that when she's focused, she's really focused. I'll call out to her, I'll try and get her attention, and it's almost impossible as she's just so intently focused on the material that she's watching and no doubt enjoying and learning from. But as we said, there's a time and place for everything, and I guess we need to temper the time that we spend in the electronic world. But I also acknowledge that when I was a kid, I did watch a lot of cartoons. Like most of the people of my generation, we'd spend hours and hours and hours of watching cartoons and TV series that I guess helped shape who we are as people today, shaped our values, shaped our view of the world. So I guess I'll leave it there. So thank you very much for joining me on this book summary, this walk and talk on this lake here in a vineyard up here in the Hunter Valley, enjoying the early morning sun reflecting off the water there. It's just beautiful to be out and to feel alive. So I'll finish off with a positive affirmation. I'm alive, I am well, I feel absolutely great. To my friends and family, stay connected, stay relevant, stay reasonable, and let's make the most of this Sunday, this first day of the week, and enjoy what this day brings each and every one of us. Yasas, Filakia from Jim's